Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This time on the Kindness Project, hot chocolate, marathons, and we have part 2 of our interview with Don from Do Me a Favour, Buddy.
Welcome to the Kindness Project. I'm joined by a girl who is only doing 2 exams a day at the minute, so slacking a bit. It's Charlotte Dames.
And I'm joined by a man who's got 2 exams in the space of the next 2 days and is feeling very stressed, so we're going to give him some support.
I think, to be honest, we are competing at the minute about the amount of stress we're going through due to exam pressure, aren't we?
So you've got 2 big exams.
And you've got about 12 little ones.
Well, they're not little ones, because I've got my English ones, and the English ones are...
You've just clearly you are feeling more stressed than me because you've just been delivered some paracetamol. There you go. That's for your sore head. Take those paracetamol, please. That was good timing, wasn't it? No, just drugs delivered directly to your door. There you go. That's some paracetamol.
Nobody's heard of antibiotic resistance.
I tell you what is soothing the pain at the minute, Charlotte. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean. I've not had a hot chocolate. Oh, what's that? And a light bulb. Drugs and a light bulb you've got
This
for
is
some
my
reason.
bed.
What have I got? Nothing.
This is for my bedroom because my bulb blew 4 days ago.
So you've been sitting in the dark.
Well, I have a lamp now.
You've been sitting in the dark with a headache worried about your exams.
It's a bellyache, actually.
Oh, it's a bellyache. Okay, fair enough. So I'll tell you what I've found tonight that's eased my stress a bit. Salted caramel hot chocolate.
Hey!
High five.
We're running out.
That is, well, we need to get some more because that is really good. That is amazing. Oh, and we come bearing gifts which are chocolate and coconut coated almonds to go with my hot chocolate. Thank you, Mummy, Cassie. Well, I don't know what I call you on the podcast. Cassie, clearly.
Love you, Mama.
Thank you. Good almond. Very good almond. So, we're both stressed with exams. Let's try some breathing techniques. The one that I like the most is this one. What one do you like the most?
You curl your fingers and you touch your thumb with 2 fingers and you go...
Or just breathing through your nose.
really aggressively until you can't help but laugh.
Breathe, right, this is what you do. If you're suffering exam stress like Charlotte and I are at the moment, breathe through your nose super aggressively until you can't help but giggle. And make so the problem is I'm a snorter. I do that, I'm snorting now. So I don't know whether that'll work for me.
However, you laughed.
It did. It made you laugh. So this is a new meditative style technique, right? You have a hot chocolate, salted caramel preferably, and breathe through your nose so hard you snort and laugh. Oh, is that what we're saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough.
Laughing is good for you, so is smiling.
Well, smiling is amazing for you. Smiling is really good for you. I did the Favour half marathon on Sunday.
He's showing off his medal.
I'm still wearing my medal. I'm wearing my medal.
You slept in it and showered in it yesterday.
I didn't sleep and shower in it. I just showered it. No, I am wearing it, and I'm wearing because I had my London Marathon ballot result today, and I didn't get a ballot place.
But they gave him a t-shirt.
What the London Marathon
it's a pity shirt.
If you give your ballot fee to charity, they send you a pity shirt, they're calling it apparently. So I've got my Havering half marathon medal on and my London Marathon pity shirt. I was going to call it a commiseration shirt or something like that, but pity shirt sounds alright. So we're calling it that. But I am going to hopefully be still doing the marathon for a charity, and that's inspired this week's question of the podcast, which is, what's your next big challenge? So, Charlotte, what's your next big challenge?
I'd say my exams.
You know, by the sound of it. What's your next big challenge?
They're almonds.
Almonds. Go on.
I'd say my exams, because those are in May.
And what else?
I don't know.
Just the exams. The exams are life at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a bit all-consuming black hole.
Well, this is why we still need to carry on with the podcast, because this is a distraction from the all-consuming black hole that is exams.
It's also a distraction from sleep. It's currently gone 8.
What are you? Are you 90? What? All right, it's gone 8 o'clock. I can't do anything
You
else.
did just kind of pluck me from my bed and make me hot chocolate.
Well, I did knock to see if you were awake and you were checking Insta or something, so I thought it'd be alright to get you up.
Someone messaged me.
However, what we'd like to know, listeners, is what's your next big challenge? What have you got on your sort of goals list, your bucket list that you're aiming to tick off? I tell you what, one thing I do want to do, and we have talked about this on the podcast before, Cold War's Greatest Hits. We've got to start planning that. So we need to plan a little train trip around Europe. Which would be good
After.
fun.
We can plan it before, but we need to do it after the exams. I'm not doing it during.
No, we're not. Sorry, teachers. Charlotte was going to do a GCSEs, but we're now in Moscow. I don't think that applied, to be honest. But
Hey guys from Helsinki.
Oh yeah. Can we go to Helsinki on a trip? I'd love to go to Helsinki. Let's put Helsinki on the list. Anyway, listeners, please let us know what's on your goals, hopes, dreams and aspirations list, especially the next big goal. And you can get in touch with us in a bunch of different ways.
We have this thing called the
You're
internet.
eating a nut, aren't you? That's not professional podcast behaviour.
Today's you were picking one off the
I was waiting until it was your bit.
I thought you were going to keep talking.
Oh, okay. You tell the listeners how
Alright, so we have this magical thing of the internet, and I don't know if you've heard of it. It's so and so. Anyway.
It's quite popular, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. I thought we were quite inventive for using the internet. Anyway, so we have this thing called Facebook. It's a little website.
You're right, though.
Only a couple million users.
Trillion.
And yeah, you just search us in the bar, the Kindness Project. You know us by now. How many are we in?
Yeah, but this might be. I mean, we're on episode 92, but this might be the first time one of our new listeners has started listening. So that's why we need to keep on sort of.
We're funnier at the start.
That's a tagline for it, isn't it? The Kindness Project, funnier at the start.
Well, we are, because we were so inexperienced. We were kind of fumbling around it.
Are you listening to this stuff? Anyway.
Imagine this, but 10 times funnier and 10 times more uncoordinated.
Uncoordinated.
No, we had a structure back then. We've just thrown the structure out the window
We've still
now.
got a structure. We've just taken bits out of the structure, which when we get to episode 100, we need to look at again, because I think we had Kindness News back in.
No.
I miss Kindness News. That little bit of optimism in the show every week.
I did not enjoy Kindness News.
I'll do Kindness News then. Anyway.
Does that mean I can do question of the week?
You can do question of the week. Let's swap it then. You do question of the week, and you're responsible for collating the answers, and then I'll do Kindness News. All right? Mm-hmm. So from episode 100, that's what we're going to do. However, you can also get in touch with us on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Chris Daems, CHRISDAEMS.
And I am at Twitter on...
You're on Twitter on that?
I'm on Twitter at Charlotte J Daems, CHARLOTTEJDAEMS.
We've got a Twitter handle at Holla Kindness, and you can find us via email on holla@thekindnessproject.co.uk.
Yep.
We've got a website, www.thekindnessproject.co.uk.
Yep.
Where every single one of our 91, can you believe it, 91 back episodes you can find on there. I mean the fact that we've got this far and not improved is quite an achievement.
We've lost structure and gained hilarity and followers.
Exactly true. We're doing all right there. Shall we crack on with the show?
Let's do it.
So this week we've got the second part of our interview with Don from Do Me a Favour Buddy. Now Don came into the office. He was an amazing guy. He's gonna be doing one of the guest host slots that we've got now. So he's going to be coming in to do a guest host slot in about a month's time. Don's an amazing dude. His website is just put "Do Me a Favour Buddy" in Google and it'll come up. But it's staging.dmafb.me/en if you want to find it. And basically, it's a website that allows people to do other people a favour, which I love. And you can log on there, do loads of favours to people, ask for a favour, and just make the world a better place. Should we listen to Don's second part of the interview?
Yep.
So talk to me about one of your first acts, because I read in a press clipping that you did that you gave away a laptop computer as a bit of an initial thing.
Yeah.
Who did
you know
that?
what? I had a lot of flack for that because some people were really, really annoyed that we were giving away, like we were trying to like maybe buy kindness.
Yeah.
But no, but I mean, what I wanted to show is that, like, you know, I mean, kindness can be sort of it's not tangible sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? And I wanted to say that, you know, something as material, as expensive as a laptop, you know, kindness is actually a lot worth a lot more than this, you know? And I'm willing to...
But I tell you what's interesting about that. I like the idea of that as a promotional piece. I'm wondering how effective it is to promote kindness, because you want kindness to be its own intrinsic reward as opposed to extrinsic.
Yeah.
But as a way to promote the platform, why not?
Yeah. And I think the other thing is that, you know, kindness unfortunately has got a very bad PR.
Yeah.
Because kindness is often associated with weakness.
Yeah.
When actually kindness is
Don't think that's true.
Kindness can save a life. Kindness can give you a new job.
Yeah.
Kindness is amazing. It's really, really powerful.
I think the other interesting thing, we've found this from sort of interviewing sort of the number of people we have, over 100 odd podcasts. One of the most interesting things is people assume that kindness is this intangible, ethereal thing, and in reality it's not, because everybody we've spoken to are doing practical stuff to help people in their lives. And your platform does the same. So who won the laptop? That's what I'm interested in.
Actually, it's really funny because we had a lot of people that got the same amount of karma points.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So we're actually going to have to flip a coin.
Right.
We're going to announce this.
So you're going to decide who to do it. And what's most popular on the platform? What things have been offered on
It's really
there?
wonderful, actually, which I really like, because I think that you get a good slice of life of the community. So we had once this lady who wanted to collect notes of love. She wanted to declare love for her fiancé. Okay. And I think her fiancé was named Francisco. And she wanted just a simple note saying, like, you know, Francisco, I love you, but just from people around the world. So we collected these notes.
Oh, amazing.
From Egypt to Italy.
In the languages of the indigenous. Love it.
Around the world.
That's a great idea.
Declaring love to Francisco,
On what, like, was it on Post-its or was it on...
So they wrote it on Post-its and they sent the Post-its to us and then we sent them to her.
That's
the
great.
Photos of the Post-its and we sent them to her, so
Love that.
Yeah,
absolutely love that. Yeah.
Strangers coming together to help somebody declare love.
And how did she, like, sort of deliver that to her fiancé?
I think she just sent them to him as like a text message. Or
nice. Nice, really, really nice. Yeah, that's good. Okay, it's interesting. And what other unusual acts of kindness have people do?
Well, I mean, actually, you'll see in our advert we've got a drag artist.
Yeah.
My friend actually put that as a favour that my friend might actually be able to be a drag queen at your event. So that was.
Oh, I love that. I love that. It's my birthday next week. I might have to jump on the platform and have a look.
Actually, what day is it?
17th.
Oh, on the 20th.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So is it a big one for you this year? How old are you?
I'm going to be 44.
So I'm 42, so I'm a couple of years behind you. But you know what? I think the 40s are amazing.
They are.
So I'm old enough to sort of have at least a... It's funny because my two girls are 7 and 15, so I still get to play quite a lot. Not so much with a 15-year-old, but a 7-year-old. So if I want to be silly and act like a 10-year-old, even at 42 I can.
I still watch cartoons.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll tell you what was really good, I don't know if you've been, the manga exhibition at the British Museum is amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really, really good. So manga, anime, all of that sort of stuff was brilliant. But I think the 40s are so
far my favourite generation because there's no pretension.
Yeah.
You just get on with what you do. I think you get to a point where you sort of recognise who you are as an individual as well, and what you want to achieve. So
I heard that we're the last generation to grow up without the internet.
yeah, and I it's really interesting, Don, because I think what we can see is both the power of it, but also its potential downsides, and having that perspective is really interesting. But I think the internet's got a lot of power to do good, and I think showing your platform and what we're doing with the podcast shows that quite a lot. Actually,
it's interesting that you said what is the future for us. So the future for us is to live in a world where our platform is not needed. Yeah. So that's our goal.
So that brings me on really well to my next question, because we've now moved, and I've seen it over the last few years, where certain platforms and social media have moved away from being super friendly and super nice to a place where opinions are polarised. You're in a situation where whereas healthy debate was once the order of the day in the early days of social media, it's now less so.
I mean,
what do we do about that?
Even since we've launched, I've had people coming after me on social media. I think,
for what reason?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's fine to criticise the platform or the way that we execute things. I mean, that's your opinion. That's fine. But it's sort of, you can really see this sort of like a focal point, of sort of people wanting to bring you down and things like that. And you think, oh, come on, there's better things that you can do. I think.
Do we ignore the noise? Do we ignore the people who want to use it as a detracting force, or is there something more?
I think we are looking for connection in each other. I mean, that's what has attracted people to the internet. And I think what we need to do is basically, we need to have a way of looking at the humanity in both each other. Because I think as long as you can dehumanize somebody else and put them in a box, then you can attack them. But if you see yourself within that person, then you're not likely to. And I think one of the ways that we can do it is that, it's great that you've got this podcast because you're transmitting these stories of kindness, which, in my view, I'd argue are actually even more powerful than the acts of kindness themselves. Because these stories you can relate to them when you're hearing them. When you hear a story, you see yourself going through that step.
You do.
And that transformation goes inside your body, yourself. And that brings change. And that's what we need in this world.
And I think the other interesting thing is the reason we wanted to use a podcast as part of the platform is being simply so we could take our time telling the story as opposed to shortening it into something that's quite diversive. Actually, sitting there having a really good chat is just a great way of talking about in a bit more depth. Because, as you say, you can, you were talking about your flat. And I was thinking, what would I have done in that situation? Probably not as coped as well as you, to be frank.
Trust me,
you didn't cut that well. Yeah. But you got through in the end, isn't it? Yeah, that's fine. So what does Do Me a Favour Buddy look like in 5 years, 10 years? What would you? I mean, the eventual aim is to get to a point where it's not needed anymore. But in the meantime,
I'd like it to be a platform that really goes around there with you. That it's almost invisible. So you go somewhere, you can really see at that particular location opportunities to help other people. And opportunities to meet other people as well, So definitely, something that's really social that you can meet online to do activities offline. So, but just to have a very seamless experience, so that it's really in tune with you.
So you want it to be human, right? You want it to be like an online that results in a really human connection.
Yes, definitely. It has to be that way. It has to be.
And talk to me about the documentary, because that sounds quite exciting.
So I'm collecting stories of kindness. I've literally been walking around London and other places around the world and just going up to people and asking them stories of when somebody helped them.
Love it.
When they helped somebody. And it's been amazing.
What stories have you heard, or what stories have really...
Do you know what? This lady, she was from Greece. She told me about how somebody saved her life. And she was coming out of a club, and then she was just randomly attacked. And basically, a guy was strangling her on the floor, and then a lady ran out of, it was something like a chip shop.
Okay.
And basically pulled this guy off, the guy ran away, and then helped her. And it was just amazing, you know, the story, the way she was telling the story, but also what I asked her was like, do you have a message for this lady? Because it was literally just a stranger that helped her. And then she said that, I hope that you are living a fulfilled life. I hope that you do not wake up feeling that you are worthless or that there's no meaning to your life, because you've given me meaning to my life, you know, and I hope that you're living the best life that you can lead. And I was like, oh, what a powerful message.
Yeah.
You know, what a powerful message.
So she didn't stay in touch with her, she just helped.
No, it was just one of these like Good Samaritan things.
You know what? I think sometimes we ignore the impact we have on people's lives, because for that woman that was fundamental, wasn't it? It was so important. Yeah.
It's incredible.
So do you just go out with your phone and record these stories,
Well,
or how do you do it?
Camera. I mean, I've got actually a camera in my bag. But sometimes with my phone,
And what reaction do you get?
I mean, curiosity at first, or like some people think, you know, you weirdo, come here. But when I explain about the platform or show them, then people know me. You know, and for me, there's no kind of rules about what kind of story. I mean, we had these two girls by the South Bank, and one of them was like, I bought her a pair of socks, and the other one was like, yeah, she bought me.
That's nice. Those simple daily acts of kindness are as valid. Yeah, no, I love that. Have you seen the Kindness Diaries on Netflix?
I have, yeah.
So
Leon was on the show.
Leon was on the show. We interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, actually, and he was really good in terms of. And I think we need to do more about that. You know, let's talk about it's really interesting when you approach people, when you start, because I'm really proud of this, the little project that started off as a little thing me and my daughter started to basically maintain their relationship, but. When you start talking to people, they go, yeah, I can give an example of when my life was changed through kindness, but we don't talk about it enough, because we need to engage in more conversations around that.
Yeah, and I think we need to stop thinking of kindness as transactional, which is, I helped you, that's it. No, there's a whole transformation that happens in both these people, and that's the power in it. And that needs to be the dialogue.
But I think the interesting thing for me, Don, is when kindness spreads. So if I help somebody, I don't care whether they help me back, but what I'd like them to do is share that kindness on somebody else. And I think at its best, kindness is quite infectious, so it should be spread with other people. So we've been quite lucky to build a little bit of an audience over the last couple of years. So we've got people who are listening at home, or listening while they're out for a run, or walking their dog, or doing whatever they need to. How can they help you?
How can they help you? They can use the platform.
Okay.
I mean, come into the platform, www.dmafb.me, and offer an act of kindness, or request an act of kindness.
Yeah.
And let's build this into a movement. Let's build this into something that is powerful enough to change communities, change countries, change the world. Let's do this. Let's really, really
and the interesting thing when I was doing my research was it is an international thing, isn't it? So what's the, is it spread throughout the world, or is it?
So it's really funny because on social media, I mean, we've got 6,000 people following us on Instagram, and one of our biggest followers is Turkey and Brazil. And I know nobody in Turkey.
But you know what? It's weird. We see that. Russell sends me the stats for the podcast, and you go, "Who in Iran is listening to us?" I don't know. Yeah. So why do you think Turkey and Brazil?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But that's great.
Look, cool. Yeah, we can live with it.
Yeah. So we're hoping that. As we grow and we build in functionality, that we'll be able to build in a translator, so really people from different countries can help each other, can communicate and help each other.
So it's in English at the moment, but most people just get involved with that. Yeah. Okay, great. We're going to help. I know you've shared the website, but we're going to share a bit more about you and where people can get in touch with us. But before we do that, and we ask everybody who comes on the podcast a few questions. Now you've listened, right? So you should be ready for this. Every week, and we've done this since we started, we ask our listeners a question.
Yeah.
Normally it's non-kindness related, and we've now got a portfolio of 80 questions, 90 questions that we've asked. I'm just gonna ask you a few random questions. Do you think most people are generally good?
Of course, yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. Fine. Why?
Because we're all human. We all have that blank slate when we're coming to this world. And even if, you've gone astray because life has been brutal to you, or just, things have happened, there's still an ounce of kindness in you.
Yeah. Great. What's the world's best biscuit?
Oh, it's got to be custard creams. I'm sorry.
See, shortbread for me. Shortbread for me. I mean, we don't want to fall out over biscuits, but you know what? It's really interesting when we ask questions of our audience.
Yeah.
The ones that get the most contentious are the ones that are the most trivial. We ask, are most people generally good? Everybody agreed.
Yeah.
You ask somebody about a biscuit, and suddenly it's like.
I'll allow Garibaldi, but it's got to be custard creams.
We did not true. We did have a big Jaffa cake debate as well.
Jaffa cakes are great.
Yeah.
Do you know what? The weirdness is there was a milk chocolate Jaffa cake at one point in time, and now it's gone. What has happened to it? That's a conspiracy. Maybe you could ask me this.
Maybe. What happened? Was it milk chocolate?
Yeah, because it's dark chocolate at the moment.
Yeah.
It's always been dark chocolate.
Yeah.
But then there was a period of time this unicorn appeared that was milk chocolate, and I loved it. And then it was gone.
Oh, you know what? I was in Japan earlier this year, and what I loved in Japan is just Kit Kats. Because Japan has a monopoly on really unusual flavoured Kit Kats.
All right.
So I had a strawberry Kit Kat. I had a matcha Kit Kat.
Really?
I had right. Just Google Japanese Kit Kats. There's hundreds.
And white chocolate.
Yeah, but they're like the UK ones. The Japanese do it completely differently. Yeah, so you can have a sake Kit Kat, the spicy Japanese drink. Yeah, there's hundreds of. Just Google Japanese Kit Kats and you'll see a good connection. What's the best Muppet?
It's got to be Animal. That energy.
Agreed.
Yes.
Right, now we can disagree on the biscuits. When it comes to our Muppets, we can definitely do that. And how do you stand on whether you include Sesame Street characters in the Muppet collection? Because somebody said the count when we asked this, and I had to. No. Just it's got to be. Yeah, exactly. It's got to be the original Muppets. Right. Next question I've got. Let me have a look. Is what's your guilty pleasure?
It's got to be custard tarts.
There's a custard related.
Custard tarts. Sorry about the product placement, but I'm addicted to them. I'm absolutely addicted to them.
Marks and Spencer's do some foods amazing well,
They
don't
are
they?
incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. And what is it about custard that's so endearing?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. If you could try one job for a day, any other occupation, what would you do?
That's a good question. I'd love to be an astronaut, actually. I'd love to see the world from space.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. And who's the world's greatest detective?
Batman.
Right. Every time I think of Batman, I know he's a detective, but I just can't see. I see him as a superhero.
Are incredible.
Better than Sherlock.
Easily.
Okay, fair enough.
Easily.
He has got quite a lot of technology backing him up, though, as in Sherlock.
That's true. That's true. But his mindset is incredible.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Batman's a good choice, and we had a few people agree with you on that. And last one I'm going to pick is, what's the world's best double act?
Oh wow, the world's best double act. Oh wow, that's really stumped me there.
There's always one. There's always one that. Do you want to come back to that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my favourite double acts is Morecambe and Wise, right? And the song that makes me smile the most at the minute, and I just rediscovered it on Spotify. Spotify is amazing for finding is Bring Me Sunshine, yeah. And it's gone on one of my playlists, and every time I hear it, it makes me smile. So what song at the minute is making you smile quite a lot?
Actually, do you know, it's this reggae song called Toast.
Okay.
And it's just something very positive about it. It's
Cool.
really, yeah.
Who's it by?
It's by somebody called Coffee.
Okay.
And I definitely recommend that your listeners check it out because it's very, very sunshiny and the lyrics are very, they're about gratitude and positivity.
Toast. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out as well. It sounds really good.
And actually, my double act is going to be the two ones.
Okay, fair enough. Cool.
And I used to love the banter that they had between them.
Two Ronnies. Okay, good choice. And I'm definitely going to be checking Toast out. That sounds. There's a song that's just been added to my playlist, funny enough. And I'm not massively into reggae, but my tastes are quite.
You're more jazz person, right?
I love a bit of jazz.
Yeah.
I love a bit of jazz. But I've got quite diverse tastes. So the song that got recommended is one. I can't find it now. It's one called. No, I'm going to lose it. No, found it. So the one that I'm listening to at the minute is one called "Love This Town." Let me have a look. This Town by the Skints and Tripperary. Have you heard it?
No.
Right, I will send you a link.
Right, please.
Because that is a happy, cheerful, London-based reggae tune that I'm absolutely loving at the minute. Anyway, even though my music tastes are clearly a bit rubbish, let's just talk about where people can find you online.
Sure. So you can check out, of course, the website, www.dmafb.me. You can find me on Instagram as well at dmafbme. And Facebook, Do Me Favour Buddy, and also Twitter, Favour Buddy. So, or just write me an email, dmafbme@gmail.com. Say hi. Get involved. Let's put kindness back into the hearts of people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wait a second. Actually, I want to do an act of kindness for you now. So I've actually brought a special T-shirt.
Oh, love it.
Yeah?
Love it.
Actually glows in the dark, so when you're doing kindness at night.
Okay.
And also a nice tote bag as well.
Oh, amazing! Thank you, mate. And I will, we'll have a little photo of these just so we can promote it. No, thank you.
Great.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We are back.
We are back, and that was Don. He's a bit cool, isn't
He's a bit cold.
he? Now, you haven't met Don yet, have you? But
I will meet him when it comes to
you have been wearing the T-shirt that Don very kindly
I like
gifted
that
us.
T-shirt.
So do I. So you'll get to meet Don when he comes on as a guest host in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Shall we do the end of the show?
Yes.
So.
Don't.
Oh, go on.
The mic is mine now. Tis the end of another podcast.
But
Tis the end.
Can you put the podcast mic back in the middle now? But the end is never the end.
Because the end is always the beginning, and it's last week's question this week, and this week, and last week, and this week, and last week, and this week, and last week.
And last week's question of the podcast was if you could pick a voice for your GPS, your satellite navigation system, what would you have it say, and what character would it be? Now.
I vaguely remember saying I wanted anyone but myself.
You did say that, but what I did realise is nobody really uses GPS sat navs anymore, do they? What they do use is
Google Maps,
or I've started using Waze.
There we go. That's a big American thing.
Why was it a big American thing?
I know. I hear them talking about it on American TV shows, but not in English ones.
I've started using Waze. You know what? Spotify recommended that I start using Waze. And it said you can connect with Spotify with it. And we had a bunch of different comments. What I did realise with Waze is you can have different voices on Waze, but they're all a bit weird. There's a boy band one on Waze, which just goes like that. Turn left at the lights. I was like, what the what is that?
It's a boy band.
Yeah.
They're serenading you to your destination.
I don't want to be serenaded to my destination. If I wanted the Backstreet Boys, I'd hire the Backstreet Boys to sit in the back of our car. Turn left here right now. Okay, so we had a bunch of answers for this one. Judith Hitchens said, I said Chris Akabusi. Oh, he's amazing, Chris Akabusi. He's one of... I'd love to get him to the podcast, Chris Akabusi, because he's one of the most positive people I think I've ever heard. Jamie said Michael Holding, who I don't know. Both said definitely not the Google Maps navigator. Useless. Jeff Hilliard said Samuel Jackson. And funny enough, Samuel Jackson is doing an Alexa voice so that you can have Samuel Jackson as Alexa now, which would be cool. Satnav voice Mariella Frostrup, Al McCann said.
Who?
Mike Christie said Mr. T. I'm pretty the fool who has me as a Satnav.
I'm pretty the fool who needs to make a U-turn.
I'm pretty the fool who has to make a U-turn. I'm pretty the fool who turns left at the lights. Francis Barrett. Francis Barrett said Morgan Freeman. Hi, man. I can't do Morgan Freeman.
I can't do Morgan Freeman. I don't even remember what he sounds like.
Deb Myers said Morgan Freeman again. Hayley Ball said Brian Blessed. Gordon's alive! Do you know who Brian Blessed is?
Which one is that?
You need to Google Brian Blessed.
No thanks.
You need to get a bit of Brian Blessed in your life.
No thanks.
Kelly Barker said Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean doesn't speak, does he? Glenn May said either Terence Stamp or Ian McKellen. But when you got to a red light and you tried to go through it, go, you shall not pass! Would you do that? I don't know. Another one for Morgan Freeman or Dame Judi Dench or maybe James Earl Jones, yeah. He played the dad in The Lion King, James Earl Jones.
Nice.
Very, very cool voice. Or Kit,
Everything you see is the direction you're going.
or Kit from Knight Rider. Oh, yes. If I could have a little thing in my car that just had a little red light that went back and forth, you don't know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
Oh, amazing.
Well, vaguely. There was an episode of I binged like all of Supernatural, and there was an episode where it was just doing loads of TV parodies. So there was one in a hospital, and there was one in a Japanese game show, because those Japanese game shows are hilarious. And there was one, and he turned the trickster turned one of the boys into a car, and it was every time he talked, it went back and forth.
It was Kit. Why? Sorry, what show was that in? Supernatural? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm sure I'm never going to understand that show.
I don't know.
Rob Bishop said Mickey Flanagan, at least I will be able to understand him. Linda Fuller said Richard Burton. Andrew Berwick said Rick Mao. And Louise McNamee said Javier Bardem. And that, my friends, is your answers for last week's question in the podcast. That is it.
That is the end.
That is the end. That is truly the end. And we'll see you next week for episode 93.
Bye.